Hello everybody, Sanir, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about CTX001, the partnership between Vertex, big pharma company, and obviously our beloved CRISPR company, CRISPR Therapeutics. I want to talk about this program in this video, certain predictions, and I want to hear from you guys what you guys are predicting for a potential FDA approval. I'm going to talk about all that in this video. It's going to be a unique one. Before we do that, before we jump into today's video, you guys know exactly what I will ask you. Destroy the like button, smash it. That's how YouTube algorithms work. I have to ask you guys so that we can get our videos out there to a lot more people joining this space. The community is growing, so thank you so much for support, guys. Subscribe if you have not. Hit the notification bell if you want to go a step further. So I'm going to take a look at really high level CTX001. I've done this numerous of time in this channel, but because we have new viewers, I think it's important for us to remind ourselves what this program is all about, right? So clearly you can see it here on the screen, blood disorders caused by mutations in the B globin gene, right? Beta globin gene. And clearly you can see this is normal cell. If it's a sickle cell, clearly you can see the shape changes. And if it's a beta thalassemia, you can see the shape changes again. And basically you have almost 300, over 300,000 at this point of sickle cell disease annually birthed, and 60,000 beta thalassemia annual birth. So that's over a total of 360,000 annual births around the world just with these two diseases, right? But here's the thing, right? And I think a lot of misconception lies, right? By eradicating a disease in someone does not mean that their future child, if they end up having one, will be will not have beta thalassemia or sickle cell disease. It doesn't work like that. To do that, you actually have to change another aspect of the gene. And obviously, we won't jump in today's video on this, but because this is all about ethics, this is basically changing your lineage, right? You're basically the way as you reproduce the genes that are passed on to your child, that changes, right? By doing what they're doing right now, that doesn't change, right? You still pass on your genes to your child, and that child may potentially also have beta thalassemia or sickle cell disease, even if you're cured before having the child. It doesn't work like that, right? So don't forget this. This is very important, right? I think there's a lot of misconception on this. These annual births will keep happening until we are basically, for whatever reason, ethically or morally, it is now allowed to edit the genes that they don't get passed on to future generation. That's another topic. That's a whole nother discussion. I don't even think the world is ready to even have this discussion right now. Right now, we're trying to get an FDA approved drug, CRISPR Therapeutics, for example, with CTI001 to address the actual current patients in US alone, right? We need many of these companies involved. So that's just a high level description here. And obviously these two diseases, right? We're talking about pain, early death. We saw the average lifespan of in Americans, it's about 45 years, and in Africa it goes down well below 5 years. So this is a serious problem, not just in America but obviously around the world, specifically in regions, less developed regions like Africa and so on. So heavy burden patient care, right? We talk about taxes, we talk about IVs, infusions. Like this is a serious problem, and it's happening all around the world, in Canada, in US, in London, in England, and Australia. All these developed nations also had this problem. You guys don't often hear about this because these are things that people don't really want to address. These are like, there's no cure available. Like, what are you gonna do about it, right? If there's no cure available, I mean, at what extent do you want to talk about it, right? But potentially there is a cure available. I'm not allowed to say there is a cure available because it's not FDA approved, but potentially if it is FDA approved, we will have for the first time ever a cure available with CRISPR technology as we expected from CTX001 and potentially from other companies like Beam Therapeutics and so on. So I do want to talk about this here high level because now I want to venture in Vertex presentation for Q3, November 2nd, 2021. And the reason why it's important to do this is because, first of all, Vertex actually has a lot more shares when it comes to CTI001, right? They have more meat in the game, they have more skin in the game, basically, because they own now 60% of the program as opposed to 40%, which CRISPR Therapeutics own. And they basically paid billions already without even having an FDA approved to CRISPR Therapeutics. So they have skin in the game, right? And if I go down to their presentation slide, and actually we had that iteration talked about with CRISPR Therapeutics CEO, but I didn't really cover it from Vertex, from the horse's mouth, right? So if I go straight in their pipeline, sickle cell disease, CTX001, they're actually in phase three, right? This is very important when I'm talking. They are in phase three, okay? And if I go here in the multiple program slide, you see here, this is the cell and genetic therapies. There is the type 1 diabetes. We won't venture into that, but that's an interesting one because that sort of goes in parallel with type 1 diabetes program with CTX001, sorry, CRISPR Therapeutics and ViaCyte. But look at this for CTX001. Phase 3 have now achieved target enrollment for both studies, right? Plan to submit regulatory filings for approval by end of year 2022. This can't be more direct than that. Now, obviously, these are dates. These are potentially to be changed, right? You shouldn't be taking that as a as an ingrained a fact that will happen no matter what. This is just a statement release, and they're obviously obliged to tell you that in public. But if they modify their date, they'll have to tell you that in a PR release or in a quarterly earnings. But the fact remains, this is what it stands. Vertex has a big pharma company worth billion and billion dollars with obviously multiple programs. They're stating that they are submitting regulatory findings by approval for approval by end of the 2022. So by next year, this time of next year, we will basically have the FDA looking into the approval filings, the regulatory filings to basically FDA approve CTX001. And I am extremely bullish about it. I actually, if you guys remember early on this channel, I used to say this a lot. I truly believe 2022 will be the year for CRISPR as they develop with more programs, more phase one data from, for example, Caribou Biosciences, or with NTLA 2001 from Intellia, or even with Beam Therapeutics, right, as they filed for IND earlier few weeks ago. So I think data is going to come in, but more importantly, I think CTX001 is getting FDA approved by early 2023. I strongly believe, guys, this is not financial advice. I don't have any inside information. This is just me reading out what is the facts out there. And basically, this big pharma company that has already given billions of dollars of companies mentioned that they are in phase three, which is the last phase of a clinical trial for before FDA approval, and they are planning to submit regulatory filings by approval for approval by year end 2022. So I'm assuming Q4 of 2022, sorry. So this is really good. I love what I'm seeing here. I think this is something that everybody here should be aware of. And I think this is so important because if I go here, there's a slide here that I really liked here. CTX001 launch for preparation activities well underway. So everything's on track. They've hired many key people that will support launch of CTX001. Manufacturing processes to design to ensure that we can supply consistent and high quality product to a large number of patients we believe could benefit from the medicine one day on the day one of the launch. So this is not something it's not like they're just waiting for the FDA to approve those documents as they file them by the end of the year. They have to hire the headcount, hire the people, the GNA, the sales, the all the R&D processes, all the people involved here, and then set up these manufacturing facilities. We've heard CRISPR Therapeutics say in the past that they can average about 1,000 patients a year, and this is depending on manufacturing. This is a huge parallel, but think about Tesla and think about EVs and production, right? Just think about that. I'm not saying it's a one-to-one comparison, but just use those types of knowledge, right? Especially for some of you who've been well involved with Tesla, the Tesla story, right? I think you will see some similarities. Patients, understand patients, their needs, so we can provide them launch information, resources, support them as they consider treatment with CTA001, regardless of if there's another alternative or there's another way of doing it or base editing or in vivo. It doesn't matter, right? The patient will decide. Doctors and physicians will have a word in it. And ultimately, if you don't have a cure or alternative right now as we speak, this is your only option. What will specifically governments and authorities pay for a cure that doesn't even exist right now, right? What will they be ready to pay? These are taxpayer monies. This is This is serious, guys. This is big. I think it's gonna happen. I think I am predicting year 2023 to have FDA approval early 2023. I'm going to go as far as saying it's the first quarter of 2023. A huge bullish statement. I think everything is on track. Nothing from CTX 001 has come out to me to believe otherwise. Fundamentals I've stayed, everything I've studied. And the last thing I'll say here, this is from the clinical trials government document. You can Google that, by the way, CTX-001. And look at this, guys, phase three. They are officially in phase three and they're going forward with this. I love what I'm seeing, guys. I'm so bullish on this. I am so excited because this is something that we've been talking about for months, for years, and it's finally coming to fruition. I just really, really am looking forward for that filing. I'm gonna go obviously by next year. You will see a bunch of videos going over it for sure. I mean, the regulatory filings once they submit it, and then the next step is to see what FDA says. You know, the data came in. Many patients have been enrolled. You know, we're looking over 45 of them. Many of them data came in already for 3+ months. Things are looking good. They don't need infusion anymore, IVs, and so on. This is to me, we are going forward. I strongly believe it. I'm looking forward for your prediction, guys. Let me know what you guys think. When will FDA approve? Again, we don't provide financial advice. This is just speculation. It's just for fun. It's just getting us interacted, but also to help our newcomers here understand what type of dates we're looking at. This is a long-term thing. Hopefully, you guys appreciate this video. Leave me comments below what you guys think, prediction date, and thank you so much for watching. And have a beautiful holidays, guys, and a beautiful day. Thank you very much.